Hey y'all, it's bread and butter time. Bread and butter time. What's up? What's going on? So, as you can see on the title of this little segment, we're gonna be talking about parenting, not so parenting 101. And it came to me because there's so many subjects and just smaller topics that we can talk about in regards to parenting skills, the way we parent, our consistency in parenting, and how children receive our parenting. What works for them, what doesn't work for them, and what works for your child that doesn't work for my child, and what works for my daughter that doesn't work for my son, or what worked 10 years ago that is not working today. So there's so much that I wanted to talk about, and I had previously done a video with all of these things in it, and I realized we need to take this topic one little subject at a time. The first thing is, what do you all think, right? I am a person that likes to have my children involved in different things. I know that when I was growing up, not that my parents didn't want me in things, but we had a limited amount of finances, having 4 children, and just the finances coming in, that we didn't do a lot of outside sports, and our family wasn't really about that life, sports, etc. I remember doing trumpet for my middle school band for a little bit until I decided to quit. I wish my parents would have never let me quit, but anyways, the point is that I think that's to the extent that I did something extracurricular. So as my children grew up, especially starting with my daughter, I said whatever niche she finds, that's what I'm gonna allow her to continue to do. But before that, she has to do some exploration, right? So we started with the typical dance. And she was like, at 4 years old, Mom, this is not what I want to do. I was like, okay. And she had told me then that she wanted to be a cheerleader. And I'm like, okay, whatever. And then we did soccer. And she's like, this is not what I want to do. She was pretty good at it because she was a competitive and still is a competitive person. But just something she really didn't enjoy doing. Finally, the time came when cheerleading came around, and she rocked it. So she first started playing for the city or the town of the state we lived in back in Connecticut. And then she did competition cheerleading, and I loved it as well. And we traveled, and then we moved to North Carolina, and she continued to do some competition cheerleading, which eventually she ended up stopping, but it was later on in her as she grew older and made that choice. Now, with my son, I have done the same thing. Once he finds his niche, I'll let him continue on that. So we started off with soccer, and he liked it, but he wasn't really following the rules, and he had a lot of issues with people touching on him and stuff like that. So he didn't like that. And then we moved into baseball, and it was okay, but he didn't want to wait for the ball too long because that was a problem as well. And then we did basketball, which he loved and continues to love, and we've done flag football. I really wanted him to do flag football, y'all, because y'all see my pictures of my son. He should be a football player. I'm just saying, Mama's just saying. But anyways, that's not what he wanted to do, and he continues to love basketball. I want to do that, so I've continued on that. But in addition to that, he loves to sing and dance like his mama, like his mama. Anyways, and so I had him take hip-hop classes. He didn't like that style, so we're doing another one. And then we have piano classes, just to give him a little sense of calming down. So for those of you who really know me, know the story of Jacob and some things that we struggled along the way with him, but that's a totally different story on parenting. And I had a few people say, hey, Natasha, you know, you're really doing too much. And I'm like, am I really doing too much? And I asked my son, like, do you think you're doing too much? And he's like, no, I like doing this or I like doing that. And my kids, like me, are very outspoken, and they will let me know, like, Mom, that's not what I want to do. And so I really have to commend that about them. They're bold, they're outspoken, they tell me the truth about things, even if it's a few weeks later. But anyways, still another topic. And I just wanted to see, what's the common thought process of that? How do you feel when people come to you and kind of tell you you're doing too much or you're not doing enough? And hey, given I've done my share to family members and told them when they're disciplining or doing certain things that they may be doing too much or they need to do this. And so I realized along the way, in my own parenting skills, the type of parent that I am, and also the type of parent that I am not. And even though I had fallen in the trap of trying to be that parent that I was not, I realized that if I was not true to myself and my style of parenting, it would always break down to an unstructured home. So keeping on this same topic of having your children do too much, what is really too much? And how do you determine what is too much for your own child? As you're working through this for yourself, just remember that your children have a voice, and we are not to live our lives vicariously through them, even though we do live a little bit through them. Like when my daughter gets all cute and stuff, I live through her. I'm just saying. I'm being real, y'all. I live a little bit through her. It's not only about living vicariously through them. It's not about putting our pressures or our things onto them about what we want to see in their lives. It's about them beginning to make effective choices and allowing ourselves to be consistent and structured parents to a certain extent, and also showing them that they need to be consistent. So one of the things I tell my children is, once you pick something and I've paid for it, or you've started it, even if it was free, you're going to finish it off the entire year. So you started this hip hop class, you didn't like it, it goes until June. I'm sorry, buddy. You're going to have to keep doing it. And so they know that they have to tell me, I'll give you a few classes or a few times, 1, 2, maybe 3, to say, are you sure you want to do this? The moment I invest myself into it, you're going to walk it through. And if they can show me that they can continue to be successful in school and as well as in their extracurricular activities, then I will continue it to the best of my ability. But I just think that as parents, we need to be careful about how much we put on our children, when it is too much for them and when it isn't too much, and what we allow people to bring into our lives. People telling me, and no one has ever said this in a bad way. So I took all the information in with a thoughtful process, but it just brought to my attention the other day when someone said, yeah, keep them busy to me. And I was like, wow, a few months ago, I just got the exact opposite of that. You're doing too much for them. Don't try to put them too busy. But it's all about you knowing your child. You knowing what you could do. Don't overwhelm yourself trying to make your child fit into certain pictures or groups or having them do too much. And you also knowing what is the best for your child. So all I want to say today is, in Parenting Not So 101, we're not perfect. We all make mistakes and we make decisions for ourselves and our children that may turn around and be like, that wasn't the best, and that is okay. But as long as you're being true and authentic to yourself in being a parent, and also communicating with your children, no matter how old they are, they have a little bit of a voice. We can listen to what they have to say, we can hear what they have to say. We don't have to listen in the sense that we do what they say. We can try to process that. And one thing I've learned with my style of parenting, and just as I do give my children a little bit of voice. I want to hear what their opinion is about their life, about what they're doing, and about what extracurricular activities they're interested in. So sometimes that helps and sometimes it doesn't. At the end of the day, whatever style you have in being a parent, be that to your full potential, and don't let anybody tell you any different. Until next time, watch Nachintheraw, like, and continue to watch me on my Instagram or Facebook, and get ready because my merchandise is coming soon. Ooh, I'll see y'all.